All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. Today we're gonna look at the crypto markets and answer the question like, can the market recover from this? Are we in a bear market now? What's gonna happen next? I'm sure a lot of people are watching the crypto markets this weekend. I know I was. It was just like absolutely blown away. This is one of the biggest corrections we've ever seen in crypto history, especially in that short of amount of time. So we're gonna dive into that, look at some likely scenarios. I'm gonna tell you what my personal outlook on this is, what I'm gonna do. So before we get into that, and a lot of other news updates as well that have happened over the weekend that I think you're going to like. So before we get into that, if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Culture Highs, Taylor, Mark, Darcy, Willowbean, Neron, Catherine, Danny. Welcome. All right, so see if everybody can hear me okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Awesome. All right, so let's jump into this. So this weekend was absolutely crazy for crypto, right? I mean, I just had to like put my phone down and step away for a little while. Like I've been around this stuff for a while. I was a part of the major crash that happened in 2017 going into this bear market that preceded the current bull market that we've been in for the past several months. So I remember what that crash felt like pretty distinctly. It's still pretty fresh in my memory. And like what happened this past weekend was just so fast. And so it's got a lot of people, like I don't think a lot of people really saw it coming. In fact, by definition, most people didn't see it coming or they would have sold. So let's talk about sort of what I think about this. So why do we think it happened in the first place? We see a lot of the news events happening, a lot of the FUD, all that type of stuff. Sure, I think those things have a factor, but we do see a lot of leverage that has been in the system, all right? And it's one of those things where the market's been so fragile that it just can pop based on, any small amount of any problems like this. Anytime the FUD comes out. Of course, we did see max FUD for a period of about 5 to 7 days. So, we can see that having a negative impact on the price. But what I'm saying is that all the leverage in the system definitely reveals some structural problems with the marketplace. So that begs the question, what's going to happen next? So is there still leverage in the system? Well, there still is. So we don't know necessarily what's going to happen in terms of that. Is it all going to get washed out as well? These are clearly the people who have been able to survive what's happened. Of course, we do see leverage entering back onto the scene now, even after this crazy weekend that we just got done with. So there are a couple scenarios here. Some people are wondering, are we in a bear market? Are we in a bull market? What's going to happen next? Well, you have to look at what the social sentiment is, first of all. Let's look at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, because this is a pretty good indicator of what people are feeling at the moment. All right. So you can see the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is at 10. I mean, it's at extreme fear. So this is the levels that we saw like back in March of 2020 when we saw the big dump as well. People are worried about what's going to happen with the future of crypto. Of course, there were lots of other, crazy things happening in the world at the time that would, I would say exacerbate those fears. And we're seeing very similar levels here right now. All right, so this is pretty crazy. I put a poll out on my Twitter that was saying like, hey, what's is the bottom end for this dump, all that type of stuff, and it's pretty split. So you see people who are pretty bearish right now. So sometimes that means there's opportunity to enter back in the marketplace, but you have to be really careful. Okay, there's some things that could be around the corner that could be a trap for this type of thing. So we are seeing some relief right today. But the question is it a relief rally? Will it continue into a downtrend after this? We saw this in 2017. We've seen it in other beginnings of bear markets in the past. So it's something you have to definitely watch out for. That's why you have to really take caution. And every time people are saying, buy the dip. Well, what happens when it keeps on dipping, right? And you bought the top of a bear market, basically. So there's definitely good reason to be cautious over the next several weeks for sure. So we can see this. Let me just pull up my screen here. And the Bitcoin price. All right, we've seen some relief here. Of course, over the weekend, I mean, it got pretty scary. We were getting pretty close to $30,000. I don't think even CoinGecko shows the lowest prices here. We're starting to see some relief after this, but that begs the question: is it a dead cat bounce? Are we going to go sideways for a little while? Or will we just rock it back up? Well, my personal outlook here is I would be surprised if we have just like some sort of V-shaped recovery that just takes us back, back to the price levels where we just were really fast. If we do, it's a little bit of a warning sign. You know what I mean? That we're still kind of like over leveraged and kind of crazy. You know, I would personally like to see things not like cool off in terms of sideways trading or going down even more, but just a slower rise. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons that we've seen this kind of unsustainable thing happen and kind of blow up is we've had a really unsustainable fast start to this major rally this past year. So what have I personally done? Okay. And what's my outlook on this? So it's definitely going to take time for us to know whether we are entering into a long-term bear market. If we do go into bear market mode, I still think that we're not going to see something that would be as bad as what happened at the end of 2017 for like, 2 years plus, right? Of course, it's not financial advice. That's just my personal outlook on it. What have I personally done? I have not sold anything. So I talked about that plenty of times in these videos about, when does it make sense for me to sell? When does it not? I've always said, like, if we just corrected to these levels, I would just hold long term. And that's exactly what I have said in the past. And that's what I continue to do now. So that's why that we're seeing the beauty of, prudent investment strategies in crypto and why they're playing out well right now. I mean, if you can call crypto a prudent investment in the first place, but basically things like not taking on leverage, not buying more that you can afford to lose or more that you need to live your life currently at any given point in time, diversification, not putting all your eggs into that basket, and keeping a really long time horizon. So I've done all those things. So while I do see these corrections that happened over this past weekend, and it still makes me pretty sick to my stomach, even though I'm really far away from my buy-in price, I'm still way in profit. But when you see that amount of money just get wiped off the table, it's still hard. Okay, even though I've been here a long time, that part doesn't get easier. Okay. So just by all those things, I'm still able to sleep at night because, I know that it's not really gonna like ruin my life if we have to wait for what's gonna come. So long time horizon. I mean, do I still think that we're on target for $100,000 Bitcoin, a 6-figure Bitcoin, basically a 5-figure Ether? I still think that we are. I'm not promising that those things are going to happen in 2021. I make no guarantees or any real significant bets on when those things are going to happen. So I plan on staying in the game for a long time because I think that there's good reasons for the projects to reach those price levels. I'm not. I would have been surprised, honestly, if we got into those price levels, like next month or something like that. And that would, to me, have signaled a really fast rise and probably the top. So that's my outlook on it. And the other outlook on it is, I'm in this for the long game, outside of just cryptocurrency prices. I mean, that's at the end of the day, the goal of, what I do here and what we, this channel is about is the actual technology itself. Now, of course, the price is amazing, right? We talk about it a lot because, well, frankly, that's what people want to talk about. But there's a ton of long-term opportunity in crypto, especially, getting into the industry. And that's where I think most people are going to be able to, get that cash flow that they're looking out and they can actually make a life-changing amount of money without having to speculate on cryptocurrency prices. I'm not saying it's bad. Of course, I do it too. But that's another reason why, we have a long time horizon on this type of thing. And we can have, banking on price appreciation of the cryptocurrencies itself alone is not our only hope. So that's why we're really glad that we take those strategies whenever we see these types of corrections and we're faced with massive uncertainties. So long term, I'm still bullish. And let's look at some other reasons why. We've seen lots of other articles come out this week from other people who are like long-term bullish on crypto, or at least evidence that they're long-term bullish on crypto. So we do see this, this Medium article that came out this week from Goldman Sachs, or as a report, a comprehensive report, crypto as an asset class. Sorry, this is the wrong. This is a review of the Goldman report, but we do have a Goldman Sachs report that came out. I found some excerpts on my Twitter. Let me just find it really quickly. Okay, so basically, we see people like Goldman, weighing in crypto as a new asset class with their take on it, right? We see excerpts of this, Ethereum sizing the market, right? We do see excerpts from this about, blockchain platforms like Ethereum could potentially become a large market for vendors of trusted information like Amazon is for consumer goods today, right? We do see things like talking about Ether beats Bitcoin as a store of value. The Ethereum ecosystem provides developers a way to create new apps. Most DeFi apps are being built on Ethereum. The greater number of transactions in Ether versus Bitcoin reflects its dominance. Goldman Sachs macro research. So this stuff like this makes me bullish long term because we've captured the attention of people who can't ignore crypto. We saw the quote the other day. I can't remember who it's from, to tell you the truth. I've kind of lost it. But they were basically saying, like, one of the main reasons that we're still making big long-term bets on crypto is basically because, the median or mode of number of people who hold crypto is still basically zero, okay? So, we expect it to not be that over time. And I can't remember exactly who said that. I have to go find it. Somebody remembers, just let me know in the comment section below or in the chat. But it's a similar type of thing. I expect more and more people to own crypto over time. I still expect crypto adoption to continue because I'm seeing the technology change every single day and move forward at a rapid pace. Crypto is an inevitability, and to me, price follows that, especially long term, because there's good reasons to actually use the cryptocurrency for the technology, and that affects the supply and demand side of things. Now, we don't know the degree to which that impacts the price. We don't have like magic formulas and says that, hey, that's going to make this coin 10x in value. But to me, it's about positive buying pressure on the assets itself, which to me, I think is going to make a higher ROI long term than other options on the table. So we see other things like, Ray Dalio, legendary investor. Okay. Ray Dalio, I have some Bitcoin. All right. So it's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Billionaire hedge fund boss sees an inflationary future where cash is trash and Bitcoin catches on as a store of wealth. He still doubts governments will tolerate it. So we've seen Ray kind of like with a few different perspectives on crypto in the past. You know what I mean? Some skepticism for sure, some healthy skepticism. I think you should have healthy skepticism because it's a sign that you're thinking for yourself when you get into crypto. But we do see Ray talking about that, hey, he's got a little Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like this that makes me more bullish on the space long term. More and more adoption. Of course, some of it, for a lot of newcomers, like they may not care. They're like, oh, this is normal. Of course, we saw Elon Musk, buying Bitcoin earlier this year. Elon's been on track. That's just kind of par for the course. But that was not the case last year. It's not the case in 2017, 2018, 2019. That's a relatively recent thing, and it really helps the momentum of this. So I did release a video on Friday talking about Uniswap version 3 and why it's such an important project to watch in crypto. And this week, we do see an article on Wall Street Journal about Uniswap. So that's pretty good timing. So crypto upstart peer-to-peer crypto exchange takes aim at Coinbase. All right. So this is a piece on Uniswap. Again, if you're not familiar with Uniswap, it's the probably the most important decentralized application on Ethereum, a decentralized exchange, a DEX, all right, where you can trade tokens trustlessly, powered by smart contracts on Ethereum platform. It's probably the most used app on top of Ethereum. It's definitely the most used DEX, and we're seeing DEXs have a ton of demand from the market, especially in this past crash when basically people couldn't access their trading accounts, right? Basically, exchanges were having issues, you know what I mean, letting people actually access their funds. And we do see like people demanding to use decentralized technology where they custody their own funds. There's no gatekeeper for nobody can say, "Hey, you can't touch your money right now." There's no like technical limitations with centralized services. Now, of course, you can have technical limitations with blockchain scaling. I get that type of thing where, gas fees can get too high where you functionally can't trade and all that type of stuff. But we're still seeing users demand this type of thing. So we also talked about last week about central bank digital currencies and sort of a mixed opinion on this. Some people think it's bullish for crypto long term because it essentially validates crypto. Others think it's kind of bearish. Or to me, thinking it's, I guess my perspective is I'm skeptical on them and that they could be wolves in sheep's clothing type of situations or anti-cryptos. But we're seeing more news come out about this. So Fed's Brainerd breaks down CBDC, that's central bank digital currency, policy considerations, sees price pressures waning in the future. So digital payments and the growth of private money are two factors helping drive an increasing focus on digital bank currencies. So we talked about that. So you can check that article if you want to. We'll see more updates on that for sure. So another thing that I saw this past week, if you want to see why it's so important, why Ethereum's doing what it's doing to scale, then there's an article that you should definitely check out. If you're not super technical, it's okay. I still recommend looking at it anyway. So, the most common complaint about the Ethereum network is it's too slow, it's too expensive, nobody's going to use it, it's never going to scale, all that type of stuff. So, we see people move towards other. Well, first of all, if you've been watching this channel, you know that Ethereum is aggressively moving towards layer 2 scaling solutions. If you're new to this channel, then you have to know that we have layer 2s being built on top of Ethereum right now to help make it faster, more scalable, all that type of stuff, cheaper to use. And we have some intermediate solutions. We have like side chains. We're moving to Ethereum 2.0 long term. That's not going to be the thing that actually makes Ethereum. That's not going to be the silver bullet that makes Ethereum faster. We're going to see a combination of layer 2s and also Ethereum 2.0. But what's important to know is we've seen lots of stuff happen earlier this year where people have moved towards alternative solutions like, Binance Smart Chain, of course, which is just a fork of Ethereum with the raised gas limit. We see other layer 1s coming onto the scene trying to compete with Ethereum, like promising that they can do everything better, all that type of stuff. But so Ethereum is moving towards its scaling strategies for a reason. Okay, we've talked about this a lot in this channel, but you see this article come up from Vitalik actually yesterday. So this was the limits to blockchain scalability, or why you can't just increase the block size by 10x. So that's exactly what I was talking about when you see like these are the changes, forking Ethereum and changing the settings. Like, well, why doesn't Ethereum just do that in the first place? If it makes a cheap, fast blockchain, then ETH to just get its stuff together and do that. Well, it's because it makes trade-offs that undermine the integrity of what Ethereum is trying to accomplish long term. So you can see this. Just how far can you push the scalability of a blockchain? Can you really, as Elon Musk wishes, speed up block time 10x, increase block size 10x, and drop fee 100x without leading to extreme centralization and compromising the fundamental properties that make blockchain what it is? So I'll actually put this article in the chat replay so you can check it out there. It's funny, I'd forgotten that we actually had that. So this was basically in response to Elon Musk, tweeting about Dogecoin, saying, ideally, Doge just speeds up block time 10x, increases block time 10x, all that type of stuff. We saw people kind of make some snarky responses to that, saying like, yeah, it should be easy, Elon, right? Why don't you just make Tesla batteries like, 10x cheaper, 100x more effective? Should be easy, right? So the same type of retort. So basically, Vitalik's talking about why you can't just do this. And, of course, Elon's kind of operating on a different wavelength here. It's always hard to tell exactly, what his intentions are with his comments. He's a smart dude. It's not like he's just... you really don't really always know where his head's at when he makes comments like this. So this is a great... This is a great article to check out, though, if you want to understand blockchain scalability, why Ethereum can't just like flip a switch and make it faster. We've talked about a lot of this stuff on the channel, but this is actually from Vitalik himself, the mastermind behind Ethereum. If you don't know who he is, that's why it's important to actually hear his thoughts on the matter. So other reasons I'm bullish on this market long term, for sure, is we saw this video clip. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if it'll actually play. I'm having a trouble with my my audio setup here actually playing to my computer, so I won't play the video clip. And sometimes I think YouTube might, I don't know what it does when I play the people's videos, if it's that big a deal or not. But it was this video, Jamie Dimon talking about what's going on with Bitcoin. Let me just see if I can talk about regulating Bitcoin.
Share his thoughts on what's lacking in the crypto world. Oversight. Here's what he said in a conversation with the ICI CEO that they shared with us exclusively.
So much to be saying, what do we want to do around crypto? So I'm not a fan of Bitcoin, but forget my am or not. There should be legal, regulatory, tax-related framework, AML, around crypto. It's now worth $2 trillion. When are they going to say, oh my God, this is worthy of our attention? If I were them, I'd be paying a little attention, because when it's 3 trillion, then 4 trillion, then 5 trillion, when grandma start buying it, and people start being ripped off, and ransomware is going into 100 cities, not 30, I think you're going to have an uproar about what would.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So he's talking about, increasing need for crypto regulations. At least that's his perspective on the matter. But what's pretty crazy in that video is him talking about, hey, cryptocurrency markets recently reached $2 trillion. What's going to happen when it reaches 3 trillion, 4 trillion, 5 trillion? So he's acknowledging that possibility, right? And that's his, like, the premise for why he's talking about this. So that's another reason I'm bullish on this space. You know what I mean? It's captured the attention of people who are taking this very seriously, who have something to weigh in on. And you see these types of admissions on camera here. It makes me bullish long term. Like I said, we could be in some short term pain. We could see some sort of maybe mini bear market, but long term, I'm not going anywhere. So that's another thing that was absolutely nuts of this past weekend. When we saw our low here, we can look at what happened to the crypto market caps. The total crypto market cap, we went from $2.5 trillion all the way down to about 1.5. So we essentially wiped off $1 trillion from the market cap of all cryptocurrencies in a matter of days. Okay, it's about a week. So that's one of the reasons that was bigger than the entire crypto market cap was months ago. Like when we were here in 2017, the entire cryptocurrency market cap was $800 million, billion dollars. Sorry, $800 billion. So we lost the entire cryptocurrency market cap at the height of the last bull run in a matter of a week. So one thing you have to understand about these markets and why they're so volatility comes for different reasons. Volatility, of course, is affected by multiple factors like the market cap. Part of it is the leverage that we talked about, because you basically have people who are you're kind of like creating money out of thin air, essentially, when you take on a lot of leverage like this. Because they have to understand, when you see $1 trillion market cap, that doesn't necessarily mean that like 1 trillion US dollars came from outside the system and bought cryptocurrency. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we had this volatility from leverage, is basically people are able to buy cryptocurrency and then like borrow against that cryptocurrency to purchase another one. You see what I'm saying? And like it makes things go kind of haywire. So, but we saw $1 trillion wipe off the market cap in about a week. Oh, it was absolutely crazy. But I think people don't learn the lesson. You know what I mean? I think we're already seeing leverage go up again. I think there's plenty of people who think this is the bottom. We're starting to see some relief here, and who knows, maybe there's short-term traders that are longing the bottom with leverage, and then they're going to start to sell a relief rally. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So let's actually get an update on the price to see if it's changed since we started the video here. Yeah, we're about the same. So if we got any questions in the chat here. Somebody says market cap went to 1.25. Yeah, it might have gone to 1.25 trillion. I was just looking at the broad CoinGecko chart. Either way, a scary amount of market cap got wiped out in a matter of days. Let's see here. Yeah, there was a problem with the volume on the screen share. Okay, so would you consider Matic a side chain or L2? That's a good question. So, it depends on what you're talking about. So, like, you're talking about Polygon here. So Polygon is definitely is a project we've talked about quite a bit. Of course, made a video about Polygon last week. You know, its crypto itself was doing pretty well, and it actually recovered quite a bit after we saw this past up. Full disclosure, I don't hold any Polygon or Matic. So you can pull it up here, check it out. So Matic, this is what we're talking about. So like I said, over the past 24 hours, done about a 70% increase. Pretty good recovery. So anyways, this is for basically, Matic started off as like a sidechain project, blockchain, and they've kind of morphed into, they rebranded to Polygon to become, you know, Ethereum's Internet of Blockchains, to work on layer 2 scaling as a suite. So they have multiple projects here. Let me see if I can find it. Technology, here we go. Let's see if I can find it. So they had a page on here the other day that I couldn't remember. Anyways, basically they're kind of talking about a suite of scaling solutions. Maybe it's the solutions page. Yeah. So anyways, you can see the Matic proof of stake chain, Matic Plasma, ZK rollups, optimistic rollups. They're talking about looking at a variety of different solutions here. But the Matic chain itself is a side chain to Ethereum, where basically funds can migrate over there and actually host applications. On top of that, we've seen a number of decentralized applications do that. Pretty big players in DeFi use that as an intermediate scaling solution, and maybe a long-term scaling solution. So the question on the channel was, can we basically, is it a layer 2 or is it a side chain? So I see the actual Matic chain itself as a side chain, and I see that as a distinction from layer 2 technologies. I see layer 2 technology something that actually derives its base security from the Ethereum main chain, which a side chain really doesn't. That doesn't mean, I don't think that means it's bad or anything. I think it's just a distinction in my mind. So if that clarifies the question, I want to give it context for anybody who's just jumping in and doesn't understand what we're talking about here. Thoughts on Chainlink? So Chainlink's definitely a cool project. I don't have any predictions on what the price of Chainlink tokens is going to do, but Chainlink is critical for DeFi. At least oracles are, and Chainlink's an awesome oracle project. Somebody says, isn't a side chain an L2 technology though? I mean, there's like debate on this. I see them as separate in my mind, but it's fine if you want to lump them in the same category. I know some people don't like to do that because they're worried about security issues and false advertising, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I just keep them separate in my mind. So it says, can you please make more Web3 coding tutorials? I did all of them. Yeah, we're going to have another big tutorial coming out soon. Somebody says, dude, have I holded or sold? Totally holded. I've sold 0 cryptocurrency in the past year. Someone wants to look at the Nupal chart. Yeah, we could take a look at that. Let's see here. Studio. Yeah, log in. Hold on. So we're going to look at the on-chain metrics for Bitcoin right now. Honestly, I haven't been really paying attention to him that much over the past several days. We've moved so far away from the froth, and the markets have cooled off. Let's just take a look here. We can look at net unrealized profit loss. That's what the request from the chat is here. So we're back down in the yellow. So we're at a value of 0.47. All right, everybody. So that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people can learn about blockchain. If you like these videos, you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, then how can you get started today? You go to my YouTube homepage, you find any of my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to the next step, or hey, maybe you'll take a master shortcut entirely, I should become a blockchain master step-by-step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. Help people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for